Hello, Kristine. I'm very pleased that you found the time to have a short chat with me about sort of educational marketing and what organizations can do to kind of get their offer seen, to reach new target groups, and obviously get your perspective from Latvia and sort of figure out how that is potentially different from maybe other countries. So before I I scramble and stumble, could you just introduce yourself a little bit and sort of that we get to know you a little?
Hello, nice to meet you. I am Kristine. I am from Latvia. And it's interesting because my master degree is in adult education. I finished my master studies already 20 years ago. And then 20 years ago, it was quite new experience. What is adult education? What is lifelong learning? It was something new for our country. We didn't understand this meaning. But now, more than after 20 years, I work all the time in adult education, and I believe that for this in this lifelong learning processes. I suggest to others to never stop learning because this helps to our life to see wider, broader, like all situation. But yes, and for last 18 years, I work in communication field. I am communication professional. I have my own company for PR and communication activities, and I am head of organization Latvian Public Relation Professionals. There are more than 100 professionals. This is like a free time organization, but I'm responsible about this communication field, how happens communication at universities. We are suggesting what include in new study programs about communication processes. And of course, I teach several subjects at universities, not only in one university. Mostly they are related to communication processes, to social media, crisis communication, and digital skills, digital tools, what we can use for our everyday life, and project management. There are several like parts, but yes, for 7 years I already work at adult education. It turned up that after 13 years, when I finished my studies, I got work in adult education. I came back to my roots.
Yeah, it's nice when things come full circle and you kind of can use what you did in the past and you can use it in your current job, and it gives you a nice connection and a warm feeling in the heart, doesn't it?
Yes, and I wanted to be a teacher already since first grade at school. I wrote some letter, and when I got after primary school this letter from teachers, there was written that I want to be teacher, but I never think that I will study this to be teacher. But life turned it up, and there I am. I studied teachers. I am working as teacher.
That's wonderful. So, yeah. So then you know the world of adult education also from all sides, as a student, as a teacher, and obviously as a communication professional. So from your perspective, then, what makes education such, in equal terms, such a great field, but also such a challenging field when it comes to kind of, well, interesting people and getting people into education?
Interesting question. Yeah. About most challenge. I like to work in education. I know that a lot of my colleagues like to work in education field because we meet like young people every day. Young people, we can inspire someone. We can share our knowledge, and mostly we like agree to work at education system only then when we are ready to share our knowledge, because we know a lot of professionals who are very high like professionals in their field, but are scared to share their knowledge, or they don't see the reason why to work in education field. But everyone who works in this field, yes, we believe in better world. We believe that we could give some small things to change this world in future and to help someone change or see this world differently. And of course, other thing what I like in working in education system is that I learn all the time, because there are questions from students. It doesn't matter youngsters or adults, but there are always questions. And they are challenging us to find information, to look more wider some topic for us, for teachers as well. And it's lifelong learning. We are studying together with our students. We are getting new knowledge, new experience that we can use in future. I think this is a great process. And when we see this result at the end of course, or maybe later after some year, some students come back with like email or write some message on Facebook, oh, it was great when you gave this opportunity to study, for example, project management year ago. No, I got work. I changed my work because you were like inspiring us that we can change something, that we can do something other, because adult education is like related very often with changing your life, or to trying to find new angle for your life, and it's great.
And is that sort of one of the many challenges for a communications expert then also, when you go into kind of work with educational organizations to kind of fine-tune their marketing or fine-tune their message? Is that particular aspect that people are looking to change their life and maybe change direction? Is that one of the things that makes it rewarding and challenging, or what would you say from a communications point?
We live in world where is not so important message, but persons who are delivering this message. I believe in this, and not only who are delivering this message, but who will be these teachers, who will teach these subjects in what I am interested in. If somebody believes in this teacher, if somebody liked this teacher, then this is the best message what to spread, because your students will spread this message. Kristine was a great teacher. I suggest to study project management in Kristine's course. When I had such experience, it's why I am mentioning this, that some students who finished this adult education programs, in next programs came their colleagues or friends, and they asked to university to add them in my group, because they got this suggestion: you have to go to this course, you have to study together with Kristine. And it means that like influencers, we are like our students are our influencers. I believe in this case. In this digital age, this is important part, not only these topics what we are teaching, but our students who will influence potential students.
So that's kind of a new avenue. Well, I mean, it's kind of existed before, sort of word of mouth marketing has always existed, hasn't it? So, but it's probably a rediscovering of word of mouth in the digital world, sort of with your students as your influencers.
And in our yes, word of mouth, it was already before before 2 years, 2006, when started developing all social media. But on other hand, yes, the social media suggests to use the influencers, and it's important how our students are using this social media, how we are cooperating like institutions or organizations with our students, how we maybe sometimes it's important to spread the message about new study programs to our previous students, and they will deliver this message, because in our days people believe more in people, not in organizations. It's like a normal way, and social media is this part where we can reach wider audience via different persons, via different people. This means the snowball is growing and growing, and you can get attention, and this is very important, because when there was no digital world, no social media, only typical media like newspapers, magazines, radio or TV, then the main message givers were media representatives. But in our day, every one of us is media. We are like media, we are like journalists, and we are spreading this message out via our media channels. And it means that all adult education institutions, they have their own media where to spread message, or they are using the same media channels where are our audience.
So, I mean, that's quite a substantial shift from sort of, letting someone how to put it, an impersonal thing like the media communicate about you, or actually having sort of that very personal connection, and it's very much more direct now. That's quite substantial, isn't it?
This is like similarities. If some author of book will say, "Oh, I wrote new book. Here you are. It's great book. You can read them." But if somebody who reads this book will put information on some digital channels, it was great book. It was so great book, like some previous, then readers will run to the bookshop and buy this. This is from my experience as well. Some lady published one Facebook post. She said, "Oh, this is such good book, like similar to Michelle Obama's book." I took my bicycle and went to city center 13 kilometers and bought this book and read this book in 2 days. But yes, this was great book. This is the same about education system. If you are like student inspired from some things, you will deliver this message via your post, because we are ready to share positive or negative experience. If they are spreading this positive experience, somebody will be inspired to follow, to do some similarities, to take part in some activities, to take part in some courses.
And I mean, it's a great new world in that sense. But and do you think in Latvia, I mean, if I compare sort of colleagues and my EPALE colleagues in Latvia, they're very much attuned to social media and very forward thinking in that sense, much more than we are in Germany, for instance. Sort of, has there really been sort of, or let's put it that way, is the relevance for social media, has that balance really shifted? So is it all about sort of online now, or is there still a place for sort of the classic kind of marketing and media channels, do you think?
I believe that today about Latvia, we are quite small country. We have only 2 million inhabitants, but not all of them are in Latvia. They live in maybe in all the world, in Europe as well. And it means that it's how many in Germany you have inhabitants?
Oh God, 80 million or so.
When you see that we are small part, and very often we know each other, or we have only to call to one person to get other person contacts. And if you work in communication field, it's very easy to get, president of Latvia, for example. I know president of Latvia or something because I am a part of student sorority and he is a part of student organizations. And the same is about Latvia, that we are quite small country on this digital world or social media helps to reach wider audience. Not in our days, not all adults are using traditional media channels because we live in this how to say, in this world where everything is going very fast and we don't have time for only sleeping and watching TV. Sometimes we listen to radio only on our way to work and coming back by car. It's like maybe 1 hour per day. It means you will get some information. Maybe you watch only Netflix, not like local news, because you are not interested in regular TV programs. And it means you will not reach your audience via this traditional way. Again, one more thing, newspapers or magazines. Yes, maybe some women's magazines who are monthly magazine, or we have very good weekly magazine, but sorry, it's question if you want to reach information about adults education in women's weekly magazine. Yes, it's not, it's maybe, but and newspapers again. Newspapers are coming in printed way less and less. We use more this newspaper information or magazines information in digital way. We can, if I am abonned in this magazine, then I can get this version on online as well. And it means that all universities, all study course centers, they are looking for digital world. For example, now several universities are looking for new colleagues who will be responsible about TikTok communication. Because for example, we in our age, we doesn't know how to work in TikTok, which content is better, who will dance or challenge others. No, you know what I say, or you doesn't know very well this all algorithms for TikTok or Instagram. And we believe that yes, in such a world, we need help from younger generation. But another way, there are not only younger generation on Facebook, or not on Facebook, but on TikTok or Instagram. On Instagram, there are from 24 till 35, quite large audience in Latvia, the biggest audience in all social media. On Facebook, on Instagram is from 24 till 35, and mostly women's. Again, you will reach this audience. You can reach your audience about adults education on Instagram as well. But in future, you will reach them on TikTok as well. If you will start this communication process now on TikTok, they will be your future clients. It is how I see why, for example, Latvian National Avia company created their own TikTok last year, because they understood this generation is their next client. Or some national operas in other countries, they open at the TikTok profile. They understand they have to reach their future audience. And the same is about us, that we never know how our youngest generation will want to study and how we want to reach them. Because in our days, it's challenging that youngsters know very well foreign languages. They know better English sometimes than our mother language, because they use every day this content in English. They play some video games, not only games, but they listen some podcasts on English, etc. What means they maybe will go to study abroad, not here in Latvia. It means, on another hand, this COVID-19 situation changed the way how we are like studying or how we are choosing some activities, and now we understand that we can get everything online. Maybe I don't need to go to study to some university, but I can get these online courses. I will pay maybe 10 euros, 50 euros. I will like learn on my own way this course. I will get some certificate and it will be enough. Maybe in few years there will be challenging to get students to universities, because why I need this higher education? Because sometimes how students say or teachers say, you doesn't know what will be important in 5 years. How we can teach knowledge if we doesn't know? And on other hand, this different courses or online courses gives opportunity to get knowledge and skills what is important in this moment. And this is how we are changing. And digital world gives us opportunity not only share message about the study programs about teachers, but this gives us opportunity to organize new forms of education. And I see how much developed the different like online courses at last 2 years. My colleagues who works in communication field or other fields, or how we see how influencers are selling courses. Oh my gosh, there are so many courses. How to work with Instagram, how to work with TikTok. And sometimes I see that students are more interested in such practical things, how to work in some social media channel, not about business communication. And if you teach media communication, I teach such subject and try to tell something about traditional media. Sorry, but youngest generation that doesn't know newspapers, that doesn't know magazines. When it means we have to be on digital, all universities, all study centers have to be digital, have to spread this message digital. This is sorry, but no, the biggest challenge, yeah. And of course, next is which media channel to choose and how often to publish this information, because in our days it doesn't work once or twice per week. You have to be very active in social media, sorry, 5 days or 6 days per week. And it means not only content on the wall, on Facebook wall, for example, but different other ways. You have to study in your like professional life how to do very good video, how to no story, it's quite easy, but how to organize reel, how to organize live conference, it's a lot of challenges. And when you have experience with traditional media, it was easy. You send some press release, you organize some press conference, or you give some interview, and you are not responsible about way how they will publish. You don't need to spend time for creating video or etc. for editing and so. But now in nowadays, for all universities, for all organizations, they have to get this knowledge themselves, because they are responsible not only about this content, but about this production process, about editing process, and then spreading process as well. We are like, how I said, we are like journalists, we are like media channels, we have our multimedia like places. For universities where they have such opportunities, where our students from communication field, they have opportunities to use their own multimedia study places. But for other universities, how they can find these resources, it's like because not at all universities you are studying communication, not at all study courses centers you have such opportunity. And was the biggest challenge. Of course, which channel to use, where can be your audience, and how often to organize this process. Because press releases you never spread out twice or three per week from one organization. But now you have to organize this communication process every day. Again, more work, more creative thinking, more thinking out of box.
That it's quite a substantial shift, sort of from the thinking about today or sort of the immediate future to sort of actually thinking quite, you were saying, thinking quite far ahead, sort of how do we teach in 5 years, and sort of shifting channels and becoming, well, producer consumers at the same time in one person. So it's quite a substantial shift for everyone, essentially, for you as a teacher, as a student as well, sort of, because you go to different channels to kind of get your information, and sort of you develop as a person, you develop differently as well. So it's really, I mean, it's fantastic, and there's so many opportunities out there for you. So it's a huge playground in a way.
And one more thing, we are in several devices at the same time. We spend only a few seconds on the content we notice, and it means it's, again, this is challenging for brands who are delivering this message. If we live in this, how to say, in this age of information, noise, and urgency, how to get this attention? If they will only look, I or you will look only 3-4 seconds and scroll down, how to give this message, how to say, oh, here we are, we have good opportunities to you. No.
So how do educational organizations do that? How do they make themselves sexy?
Mostly, but I see from, I will say mostly from universities, maybe not all, but we have not only, on other hand, I see about these private institutions as well. You know, before I will start this one, that last 4 or 5 years, we had a very great opportunity to everyone who is working to take part in project lifelong learning, what was supported from European Union and from government. And it meant that we could take part in adults' educations twice per this project. It means that you paid only approximately 10%, and 90% paid this European project.
Okay, cool.
It was such great project. I know that this project will finish in this summer, I think. And this project gave a lot of opportunities for all educational institutions to develop their adults education programs, to get more students, because these students came only for these courses. For example, I studied in this course design thinking a few years ago. It was 10 weeks, we could say, or 1 evening per week. And I got this knowledge, I got the certificate, what is good. And I worked myself with 20 groups during the last 2 years, teaching project management in such way. And it was very easy to get students because they had enough money to take part. If you need to pay only 36 euros for 10 times, it is easier to decide where to go to study or where not to go study. And it meant that there was a big competition from this all education institutions to offer, for example, project management offered, for example, 20 different schools. But again, there was one more good reason for all adults education institutions. It came 12th of March, year 2020. But it changed. It changed that all teaching process was changed to digital world. And what was good for all like adults, you live, for example, 200 kilometers from Riga, from Latvian capital city, but you could participate in some courses in Riga, because before it was you can visit this course only on place. It was no big competition, because if you live in some small city, you could take part only in some courses where are like your local teachers. But when it came digital, and government said, yes, you could participate in such courses, you can decide which school do you want and get the best experience. It changed everything. And yes, this was more challenging process for communication as well, for all like private schools, we could say, for private institutions and for universities. But on the other hand, all universities developed adults education programs very well as well. They got good teachers, they got new programs. But now I see differences, because already from last autumn, this project gives opportunity to study for not for everyone this courses, but for people with worse education, like only primary school, basic, yeah, with basic education, not higher education. And it means that they are not so, how to say, not so interested in studying process. They don't have enough just a moment, I forgot already in my mother language, motivation. They don't have enough motivation to take part in courses. Why they need. I saw that this all courses were very important for people who already has higher educations, but they wanted to study something other. For example, somebody is business owner, but he studied some electricity part, or somebody who works at bank, he studied some, again, practical part. But it was very good, because yes, you are like paying taxes to government, you are getting back some opportunity. Maybe it will give opportunity to you to change your work in some years. And for example, from this project management course, a lot of students changed it. They decided to change something, because in our days, project management is important, digital skills are important. And then it means, yes, coming back to communication, this was quite big competition between different study programs, but again, it was supported from government. It means there were coming a lot of students, they were interested, and everyone has opportunity to get smaller or bigger part from the students. I think the biggest challenge starts now from last autumn, because I talked with some colleagues and they said nobody wants to pay full price for these courses. People are like, why I have pay 360 euros if it's too much for me. I don't earn so much money. I am not so motivated, but maybe I don't need this learning. And now I know that some courses were like trying to sell them. They were very, like, how to say, students were very interested in these courses when they got support from government, from European project. they were taking part 10 or 11 groups, for example, for some courses, coaching courses, because coaching is something new. I think in all countries it seems like people are interested in coaching processes and leadership. And now, when you're offering these courses for full price, people are not coming.
Yeah.
You understand? It was totally 12 groups, and nobody is coming because you have to pay full price.
Mm.
And sometimes I think this is the meaning. Why is it maybe some old school thinking process? Because I say that I'm like paying for my education myself for some courses because I am investing in myself. But on the other hand, we can't blame others because if you earn money, how much you earn, and you don't have enough like free money to spend, and you don't see a reason how it will help in closer future to your life, it's like changing. And I think the biggest challenge is now only starting with all communication processes. My colleagues tried already in autumn all social media communication. We tried all the same rules or tools what we used last 2 years, but now it's more not about reaching audience. They are reaching audience. They are reaching quite good audience. They are using sometimes in social media, of course, paid advertising as well. But I think main reason why people are not taking part is this money, this fee about this education. This is the biggest, because when there was the support from government, you presented all information in the same level, less than now, but then they got these participants.
So do you think it has shifted from actually getting the knowledge or about the offers out to actually motivating people and sort of changing a mindset? Because you were saying people are not looking, you are looking at it, if you're taking a course, you're looking at it as an investment in yourself. So, and that requires a different mindset.
I think one way how will work our, how to say, how will we work our, just a moment, how will work in future adults education system, they have to work more closely with companies because employees understand that they need new knowledge, they need new skills. We speak about this soft skills and not only soft skills, about digital skills, and it means that like how to say, education institutions, they have to create their programs and work directly face to face with this company HR managers or PR managers offering these programs. For example, maybe you have like 5 colleagues who wants to understand better some Excel programs, or maybe there are some 5 colleagues who wants to understand better emotional intelligence, etc. Hey, we have a great opportunity to offer this, but it means challenging again, not working only with media channel, with traditional media channel, with digital media channels, but to find such contacts, such companies. And this means not like communication process, this means selling process. And there is two differences, because sometimes if somebody offers work to communication professionals, they say, how many parts you will sell, you will get money. But again, sorry, we never learned to sell processes. We always learned how to communicate, how to organize message. And it means that if you like worked like me for more than 18 years in communication field, and if I, for example, now I decided to work at some university like communication manager, and I have to switch my mindset on sell it. Maybe I am not salesperson. I will get a lot of no, I'm sorry, I will think I am the bad professional. I can't reach my goal, etc. But there are some others who can like sell in such process. And I think, but this is the future because companies always invested in their employees. They supported them. I think in future it will be the same, maybe for 2 courses per year, because this is like additional effort to your employees, yeah? And this can be one way how to create this whole communication process in future. But of course, for employees, uh, for them to know which courses they want and to come to their bosses, it means they have to see this information on digital world. They have to see this on social media. Uh, email marketing, I believe in email marketing, but again, I know that younger generation doesn't want to like use emails, and if you work every day near computer, you are tired from emails as well. On this is way, yes, we want to get a little bit rest on social media, and it means you can reach them via this process when they are like resting. Yeah, resting, and you are offering already to come and teach, learn something new. But from my experience, yes, I saw that, for example, no, half year ago, more than half year ago, it will be already year. This year is running so fast. But when we like gave out information about new project management courses, we decided to use previous students. We asked, could you please spread message via your social media channels? Here you are, here is our like university message, and maybe you could share this and add some few sentences about this study course, what it gave to you. And I saw so many shares from my previous students, and they added only 2 or 3 sentences, but it was important for, again, local influencers, for their bubbles. And it gave, again, I saw that groups were full. They came, their friends understood, they asked maybe some question. Yes, it was quite good. On other hand, it's again, how I said, we like other people's, yeah, we are like not companies. And it means that sometimes maybe it's important to involve your teaching staff for communication. But it's not always, for example, I will not do always this, because if I work, for example, for 3 or 4 universities, how I will spread the message, come to this university, come to this university, I teach. And this is why I am not sharing information about places where I work, because this could like develop a big misunderstanding how you are. Yes, I understand that I sit on 4 chairs, it's normally, but for communication process is not normally.
Yeah, because you can't work out which hat you're wearing now.
Yes. Or I work in some private institutions, education institutions again. They ask sometimes, maybe you can spread via your like channels that you are teaching this subject. But I say, sorry, I teach this subject for 3 universities offering. How? But if they have only one teacher who work only for your institution, then it's okay that teacher spreads this message. And again, I can see this, for example, in culture field or entertainment field. If we are organizing some concert, we ask to like a singer, for example, please record some video inviting like not only your followers but ours as well, inviting them to the concert. And it means that if we will publish this video, we will reach a wider audience. The same universities could do, ask to like teachers, please record your invitation speech to students, and they can publish, not like you, like I am like Kristīne, but some university will publish your video why you are inviting them to the study course. Because again, looking to communication processes is more important to show person who will be, not like some pen or some process. Yes,
Yeah.
picture is okay, but in our day, short videos will be better. Showing real person, I will hear maybe only 30 seconds, but I will decide I like this person or not. But again, this is in our world. We live in digital world where there are likes and dislikes. And the same is about feeling. I want to study in this process or not. This means these are new ways how we can involve our teachers, how we can involve our students who already studied this courses, because mostly adult education is about courses, not about study programs like bachelor or master degrees. And I like how are doing several like higher education institutions. If they offer this e-studies, there were already before COVID that you can study only maybe three times per week, but evenings like, and you can like follow to all process via Zoom or other devices. And at this, knowing that Latvians are all the world, they were organizing communication processes in other countries where are Latvians. They came, for example, to Latvian society to Germany. They came to Latvian society, I don't know, in Netherlands, in UK and Ireland, we have quite big Latvian audience. And no, my students are not only from Latvia, but they are from all Europe. They are Latvians. They decided that it's better to study, for example, 2.5 years or 3 years via like online platforms, but they receiving degree, first level, the higher education or second level. What it means, it's good for them, it's good for us, and in such groups we have more adults, not youngsters. It's interesting study process because they are ready to more share their own knowledge, etc. But again, you see, this is good way how to communicate and to use your inhabitants, we could say, or your nationality, if they live somewhere abroad. They are not always aware if they know very well this local languages, for example, Norwegian or German. They are not ready to study because one is if you use for work, and sometimes you work, for example, in an international company, you use mostly English, but you live in Germany. But you decide you want something to study, you want something for yourself. It means you could find some programs here in Latvia. You can study in your local or mother language. You can get education, and it's good for students and it's good for universities because the students maybe will come to graduation ceremony, maybe not, but everyone will be satisfied about this process. And this is future maybe for some education institutions because this opportunity gave COVID as well. But how I said, there are universities who are working already for 8-10 years in such a way. But this is way how you are finding new students communicating, because there are like if we look to Facebook groups. I worked a lot with Latvians abroad. And this is why I'm sharing this knowledge, not only like about the education processes, but about I work for how to say a European Association of Latvians, and it means that with all European countries where are Latvians, and there are good example Facebook groups, closed groups, we could say. communities. I know that for Germans is the same. For example, Germans in Spain, Germans in Latvia, Germans in other countries. You know, this is quite a good channel what to use to reach your audience. And for example, I want to spread message that, hey, Latvians in Germany, you are welcomed to take part in our study courses. They are like online. You can get education online. You can get like certificate online. And for Latvians who lives abroad, this price for courses will be not so high, maybe, like pay some universities or courses in other countries. And it means that via such Facebook groups, you can reach your audience. This is the most powerful way. The same in local, for example, local Latvians, not in only, no, not in Riga, but like Riga inhabitants or other cities inhabitants, we have smaller communities. And again, if you have some offer to your local community, like on place, what happened, you can use this way. But of course, if you have enough money, you can like involve influencers or students who has graduated your schools. Of course, they can like tell everything. And one way how I see what are using educational institutions, they are like creating podcasts. Again, you are getting new audience, but you are sharing your experience. It's both together works for future that somebody will come back. It means not only podcasts, but they are organizing like some open lessons, but it's mostly with some inspiring persons. But again, this institution organize, and it means that somebody will come after to study. But I see what was very good. Yes, I remember after this graduating this adult education programs that were supported from European funds, a lot of adults decided to go to study later, to choose studying like bachelor program or to study master program, or decided to suggest to study their child at these schools because they liked this process. And again, you see, it was great opportunity, not like direct communication, but via like such courses, because if these courses are for 3 months, once per week, or somebody took part in long courses for 4 months, twice per week, or etc. But again, this gives you some like knowledge how it happens, how it's changed, what are teachers, and this is the best way how they decide. Yes, again, this is like courses, adults courses can like give like bonuses to future students at universities what are offering these adults education programs.
So it's really sort of, if you just to summarize, because you had so many really great nuggets in there. And let's see if I can put them together. So it's about thinking who your future customers will be, sort of in terms of forward marketing, essentially. Then it's about using students, your current and your past students, to kind of speak about their experience and kind of in a way, yeah, sell the experience, and also kind of provide gateways for people then to progress and kind of, yeah, get an interest for them. And I think it's really great, and especially sort of that idea also that mind shift from sort of just providing information to go more into a sales thinking, which is quite different from what is done now. Sort of, it's not about so much about just providing information and getting people interested via the information, but essentially creating a sales journey in that sense.
Nowadays, if we look to digital world, not only it's important user-generated content. And this means the students' involvement or teachers' involvement in process. Yes, question how much you can involve teacher, but on the other hand, user-generated content. People will see, my friend published this information. I will reach this audience. If university published the same, I said about books, about theaters. When I saw somebody wrote, this was very great play I saw yesterday, believe me, I bought several times tickets to such plays because I believe in these persons. And the same is about me. We have to understand that we are influencers for our bubbles, for our information bubbles. And this our previous or no students, they are a great opportunity to reach this audience. But another way, how I said, sometimes some small courses or some small seminars are first steps to get future students, to get these adults in some programs or again. I understood last years that I am teaching a lot from influencers. How they are spreading message, how they are involving. Sometimes they say, hey, you can get like only one small, like 15 or 20 minutes, like some piece from me, and then you can decide. Maybe you could take part in some closed Facebook or Instagram group, etc. The same is about education institutions. You offer to take part in some one seminar or some
a small
course,
thing. Yeah.
small thing, and then I will understand. Because in Latvian you say you can't buy cut in dark. You have to see something. You don't want to pay if you doesn't see, if you doesn't feel. If you have opportunity to take part only in some lesson to see how it happens. Because of course you are not like youngster in this moment. Maybe you already have some experience, you have some educational or work experience, and now you are more careful about what you will pay, where you will spend your time, because of course in study process there are homeworks as well. But if you have opportunity to see how this teacher will speaks, how he involves this audience, how others react, it will be helpful for your next steps to look forward.
Brilliant. That's been a lot of information and a lot of great insights. So, and I found our chat really, really wonderful. And I learned a lot myself as well. So new ways to think. So thank you very much, Kristīne. And hopefully we speak at some point in the future and you got some more nuggets of interesting facts and things to share. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kristīne, for questions. And I believe that maybe some thoughts or some tips and tricks will be helpful for German education institutions as well.
I think so. I think there's a lot of great stuff in there. So thanks very much.
Thank you.